Hi everyone, welcome, Skulls and Stilettos. This is a pretty epic interview that I've been waiting for like forever. So I'm super excited that you guys are tuning in. And if you catch this later and it's not live, that's okay. We'll be on YouTube, we'll be on Facebook Live, things like that. So I'm sitting in front of like a Miami legend, like a local celeb that turning into a global celebrity down in Miami.
Thank you, I appreciate it. It's been a very fast journey.
We have a scene here.
Yeah, finally, we've been talking about doing this for a while.
Anxiety, God, this is amazing.
Yes, definitely.
I love the chains, first of all. I'm all about bling, as you can see.
Yeah.
Like, I would wear an Affliction shirt if it was still cool. Like
I remember back in those days.
Totally.
But that burned out kind of fast. I don't know what happened.
What happened?
'Cause I bought a bunch.
Glitter.
I have no idea. Look, I'm still glittering.
I love it.
But it's not Affliction, but I'm still glittering. I like that. I like it.
I love how you have like a glittery heart. It makes me feel happy.
Well, look, it's an evil clown.
Oh, it's an evil clown. It's like the Joker.
Yeah. So like, there's some MMA coach the other day called me a clown. And I'm like, you know what? I kind of like it, so I'm gonna go with it. So the evil clown is something
I'm
I
gonna
play with.
ask you about that.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm gonna ask about the haters, but we'll get there. We'll get there. So the purpose of today is, you know what? There's so much being filmed about you, your gym, what you're doing. I really want to know who you are and kind of get in there.
Got it.
I just want to like get in there and like get your essence. So for people that are not plugged in at all to MMA, let's say MMA for Dummies 101. They have no clue who you are, what you do. Housewives that are watching my show that are like, who is this dude, right? What is Goat Shed?
So Goat Shed, the word goat's an acronym for greatest of all time. And Goat Shed is a place where we developed this idea of bringing up these young fighters that have these dreams, that want to achieve being the greatest of all time. Not just being a champion, but becoming that icon where you're just never forgotten. So it took time to develop that team. You know what I mean? Not every athlete is willing to sacrifice everything for what they want, and to become a GOAT, to become a true GOAT, you just got to go all in. It needs to be more than just wanting to be famous or wanting to have the money. There needs to be something else, a deeper passion. And I feel like it took us some time, but we found a very strong group of people that's what they want. They're willing to sleep in the gym. They're willing to have their life here under these walls to become the greatest of all time. It took a long time to find that, though.
That's amazing. And currently, what are you all focusing on? Because you've had a camera crew follow you for quite some time now.
Like 9-10 months now.
Okay, that's amazing, number one. Number two, they've been following you. You put out Law of the Goat as the trailer's out. When is the actual docuseries
So,
taking place?
okay, it's kind of interesting how that all happened. So basically, this production crew came into the gym, Time Thread Studios, and when they came here, they originally came to see if we needed a videographer to do promos for fights. That's how it started. And they're like, hey, would you guys like to, work with us, whatever. They showed me a couple examples of what they've done. They did West Side versus the World, which is a huge documentary. I don't know if you guys heard of West Side Barbell. Anybody that lifts weights should have heard of West Side Barbell. It's the most famous. They were involved in that production.
Amazing.
Once they showed me an example of what they do, I said, hey guys, I don't even know the price. I can't afford you. Like, I have to be honest. I just opened my gym at the time. I was a struggling business owner. It was 2 months in. And I'm like, I just can't do this. They spent a little time here and they saw the potential of this gym. And at that time, Hollywood shut down during the pandemic. So Netflix is buying all these documentaries because Hollywood shut down, right? They're buying the whole lot everywhere. And they're like, you know what? This is a great opportunity if they find a documentary to do on someone. So they chose our gym. And so it's not my documentary. I'm not funding it or anything like that. They decided to, basically put everything in it themselves to make this happen.
They believe in you and your gym and your guys that much, guys and gals.
They saw the stories here, and what's awesome about it is within 3 days of filming, after they saw the stories in this place, they said, this isn't a documentary. This is a docuseries. We have to go deeper into this. So they weren't even prepared to make this a docuseries. All of a sudden, a few months of filming became, no, this is a docuseries. We're gonna go all in. So now they're gonna be filming for a year. Post-production, I really don't know how long it'll take. Maybe 6 months, maybe less. I really don't know. But I will tell you right now, I mean this with all my heart. This will be the biggest thing that MMA World has ever seen when it comes to docuseries, documentaries. I swear to God, you can do a documentary on the UFC champion. It will not compare to this. The stories are beautiful, and they have to be told. People have to find out who these people are. They're amazing, amazing individuals.
I'm going to get into that in a little bit. I want to know a little bit more and divulge into these fighters that are, some of them are staying here, some of them are living here, and we'll get into that. How can people help? I know that you put on the Law of the Goat page, even if you can't, let's say, become a sponsor financially, how can people help the Goat Shed for the entire cause?
Yes.
What it is that you're doing
So
for your mission?
that's actually really coincidental that you're asking that right now. So when we opened the Goat Shed, I'll tell you this, the background. I opened the Goat Shed I opened the Goat Shed and for 4 years I trained them for free, twice a day. So I only wanted one student, one became five became 10. I said, okay, no more, 10 students. Out of the 10, 9 became champion, okay? Now, I had those elite. I would take them to my restaurant, feed them lunch, breakfast. I would train them twice a day, every single day, not for $1, just because I ended up falling in love with these guys. Mm-hmm. They became my family. And after they reached a certain level, all those titles over there, after they won all these titles, I said, awesome. We don't want to leave to one of those big gyms. We believe in you. We believe we can be world champion with you. Guide us. You know what I mean? Let's open up our own facility. When they said that, I was terrified because I never made money from this. I make money from my other businesses. So all of a sudden I have to make money from MMA. I was scared it would never work. You know what I mean?
It's a hard business to crack and be profitable.
It's
hard to crack that. And
so I started with a sponsorship deal where every logo on my cage pays monthly, and we advertise them because I know I'm great at marketing. I have my team. Now the sponsorship deal we had, we ended up getting like 12 sponsors, and I signed contracts with all of them. And we were making like close to 30 grand a month on sponsors, so I didn't need a member in here, and I was safe. We're making great money. All my fighters are doing well. We're all financially stable. We blew up after that. We blew the hell up. So thank God the contract with all 12 sponsors canceled. Now we're looking for 3 main sponsors, high-paying sponsors, and we're in negotiation. Look, what's so cool about this is we went from making this small of money a month from sponsors to now we're negotiating $70,000 deals this week. We have that many deals that we're negotiating. So, and we're a small gym. Big gyms don't do that. So it just shows the amount of belief in this place. And that's how, honestly, that's how sponsors help. They make sure that these fighters can focus all their attention on their training, not have to be Ubering and dropping off Amazon packages, and they can be here. You know what I mean?
This
Focus
is home.
on this. This is home.
You got a washer and dryer here. For people that have never been here, okay, we have the cage behind us. Obviously, the iconic Goat Shed logo, mats, a small kitchen, bathrooms. That's the gym. This is it. Like we're in Goat Shed, right?
Yeah.
This is not a freestanding building that is, 50,000 square feet.
Exactly.
That's not what this is. This is a close-knit community. I quoted something from you that you wrote that I wanted to read because I thought this was really interesting. You said, "My father began training me in martial arts at age 3, which is interesting as it is. After winning many titles in the sport while training and competing around the world, I decided to pass on my knowledge and become a coach. I started the Goat Shed 5 years ago, which started as a private team, which you were telling me about, with you being the only coach. And then for 5 years, you were bouncing from gym to gym, teaching people for free. And then you opened Goat Shed in Wynwood on January 18th, which is becoming the fastest growing gym in Florida. Why is that? Explain that. That's amazing.
It's actually pretty cool. So there's 2 things. You can create a lot of hype and a lot of attention and market well, but if you lose, you just become a famous loser. So the thing is, yes, I tell every fighter that wants to train with me, like, hey, you might be coming here because you want that notoriety, that attention. That doesn't mean anything if you lose. If you lose, everyone knows you lost. So you can be a famous loser or a famous winner in this gym, okay? So we created all this hype. All these people are watching these guys fight. That way, we went undefeated last year, 29-0. Now as a pro team, I think we're 32-1. those are fantastic numbers.
Where do you find these fighters?
Most of these fighters started with me. They have they're 0-0, and their first fight's with me.
For example, like Gus and Ryan Coos and Roy Echeverry, like where did
These
you
are
find
my
these
originals. Yes.
badass
So
fighters?
it's so funny. I didn't want to train Ryan at all. It's a funny story. I started with one student, Elvin Espinoza.
Okay.
Okay. And he came to me, I believe, as a 2-3 amateur or 3-2 amateur, something like that. 2-3 amateur. The record wasn't very good, but he was such a dedicated kid, and I was a fighter at the time. I said, you know what? I'll take you under my wing and I'll train you. So I used to teach him 2 privates a day, every day, drive him around, really develop this kid. He went to 7 first-round finishes and into an undefeated pro, okay? Using the systems that I taught. On that journey, he's like, hey, please train this guy. And I'm like, bro, I'm training you. He's like, but he's my friend, I really like this guy. It's okay, bring him. And I'd meet the guy, and then I'd fall in love with the guy like that. And then the next guy would come, and Ryan Coos, I'll never forget, he was quiet, he came in with his dreadlocks, kind of like a badass.
Right,
and I'm like,
right.
Like, I don't know, and I used to use him as a body. I used to have my Elvin and whatever, like beat him up, let's use him. He became one of my most dedicated students, and it's so crazy that my original students were a high level. Ryan surpassed all of them. We call him the MVG, like MVP. He's the most valuable GOAT.
Most valuable GOAT.
MVG.
I love that.
He has more titles than anyone here. He has the most recognition. He went from that level to jumping levels.
Third Street Savage.
Third Street Savage.
MVG.
Look, everyone wants him fighting for their promotion. He sells out the house. Every event.
does.
Everyone has a ski mask on, going crazy.
I've seen him fight so many times. I saw him in the DR. I saw him at the last Titan fight. It's pretty amazing. Speaking of
Unbelievable.
Titan fights,
Yes.
I heard a rumor that you want all the belts in all the different weight classes. Like you
Yes.
want-
Wait, who told you this?
I can't divulge my secrets.
So, yeah, this is
That's a rumor that I heard. So how are we going to accomplish this?
Look, first we have to earn those shots, 100%, and we're working our way towards that. I think we've legitimized ourselves as a major MMA team, and we're doing it. We're on our way. I think definitely Roy already has proven he deserves it.
For sure.
Ryan, I made sure he proved it because in his second fight, he fought for a title on UFC Fight Pass against a 7-2 fighter. Smashed it, won the title. So Ryan Coos is proving it. Those 2 have done it already. I'm waiting for 2 more because I want 1 card, 4 title shots. Put my guys all in one line. Go Ched versus the world, and let's put it on the line. Who doesn't believe in us? Come walk in the cage. Who doesn't believe it? You don't believe it by now? Come, meet me in the cage, and let's do this.
That's so interesting. You became a fighter, but tell me a little bit about your dad. I mean, I know that he got you into martial arts. Where did that come from? Is that something that just kind of happened? Tell us a little bit about that.
No, so my father, my uncles, and my mother all competed in kickboxing, So it's a family of fighters,
Okay.
And they didn't do it at the highest level, they were in Pakistan. So there's the competitions there aren't very high level, but they were in it. And when my father moved down here, him and his brother, they were like pool cleaners, taxi drivers, the whole immigrant story, Meanwhile, my dad was helping coach the Olympic Taekwondo coach. He was his assistant, so he was helping him down here, Master Young Sudo. When I was 3, my dad started teaching me. I have a video of me wearing a kimono, spinning back kicking when I'm 3 years old. My dad would teach me all this stuff. I competed when I was like 5 with little kids, doing little point karate stuff. And as the UFC came out, I started jiu-jitsu when I was 10. Got my black belt under the Gracie Academy here in Miami, the location here. Got my black belt in judo from a former Cuban national team member. Won kickboxing world championships in Italy. I represented Team USA against Azerbaijan. So I started accomplishing a lot in different sports. Eventually, with fights being canceled and different life circumstances, as I was getting older, it was taking so long to finally make it that I lost the fire. Also, my family is quite successful. They came from nothing and they're multi-millionaires, and they did it by themselves.
God bless.
So my dad's watching me, I'm 27, making $1,000 a fight. It doesn't feel good to him, It doesn't. He already became a millionaire twice by that age, So lost it, went up and down.
That's amazing.
So it doesn't feel, and it wasn't feeling good to me either. And the fire was burning down. And I started realizing as I was coaching my students for free, because I was doing it from love, that I was a better coach than fighter. And I had a dream. This is crazy. This is a true story. Multiple things caused me to switch to flip the script. One of them was I had a dream that like a higher power came to me and said, hey, Yasim, do you want to be world champion or do you want Ryan Coos to be world champion? And so I get choked up. And I said, Ryan. And when I woke up, I told my students that morning that I'm going to coach them full time. I'm not going to fight anymore. So that was the final decision because I love their careers more than my own.
That's huge. I think there's the teacher and then there's the artist and the teacher. I myself I was always in the arts, and then I became a teacher and I taught art history. And I've watched my friends' artist careers blossom and blow up and become amazing. And I found that I would rather have that for them as well than. So I understand that. I completely identify with that. I think that's pretty amazing. You've created a culture here that is like no other around.
Thank you. Yeah.
You're grappling. You're striking. I see you at every fight, and you're running around. You're wearing the Habib wig. You're like laughing, joking. You're
Yes.
like, but then you turn savage like that. Intense savage when you are getting ready, when your guys are going to go to the ring. It is balls to the wall.
Yes. It's that.
Where's that switch? Like, how does it go from you turn into beast mode?
This is
real
something
quick?
that I got from my father too. You know, it takes a certain mentality for somebody to come from nothing and just achieve so much. And he taught me that mentality throughout my life, and it's that conqueror mentality. It's not, we don't have a worker's mindset in my family, and I teach that to my fighters. None of them, I never want them to have that worker's mindset. See, what's a worker's mindset, for example? I feel that society has tricked people. They have told people that, hey, head down, work hard, let your work speak for itself, don't say anything, do your job. Kind of like the samurai. In martial arts, they say samurai. Samurais are slaves. If the master said, hey, go kill yourself, you've dishonored me, they kill themselves. They're a slave. Why would I want my fighter to be a samurai? That's a joke to me. That's not what I was taught. We want to conquer the world. We want to be emperors. We want to be in charge of ourselves. That's what I want to teach these guys. So that's the attitude I bring to the table. Some people don't like it because they feel like it's an arrogant attitude. It's not at all. I believe in what I'm doing, and I'm going to speak about it. I always tell my guys this. If you want to become powerful, look at the most powerful people in the world and look at what they're doing. To become president of the United States, what do you have to do? You have to become a candidate. You go, you campaign, you grab a microphone and say, hey, I did this, I'm going to do this, vote for me, don't vote for that guy, because I'm this. They don't say he's arrogant, that's a campaign. And then they book the most powerful job in the fucking world, right? That's what we're doing here. I'm not being arrogant, I'm campaigning because I believe we are the best. I believe their mindset is something special. I believe I'm bringing an energy to the table that no other coach is gonna bring. What's wrong with that?
Nothing.
And now we're gonna go prove it. And we're gonna bring it to the table, and that's why the energy here is so powerful, because I'm creating emperors, no samurais here. Tell me who you are. No uniforms. I'm not gonna make everyone look the same. Shave your head, speak like this, bow to me, I'm your master. Don't call me master, no. I'll wear your shirt, I'll wear Ryan Cruz's shirt right now. I'll wear your ski mask. I'll wear Roy's shirt. I wanna represent you. You guys are the emperors, I want you guys to have the power, right? With Gloria, glow up, right? That's what we talked about. I want you guys to have the power.
Where does that come from?
That idea.
Wanting that for others. Because a lot of people don't like that. A lot of people want it for themselves, right?
Yeah, there's a lot
So-
to it. Sorry, I try not to choke up too much.
That's
It's
okay.
everything's from my father.
Your
It's hard
dad
to say.
showed you the way.
No, it's just that they remind me of my father, where he came from.
Coming here, being an immigrant, having nothing, starting from scratch,
Yep.
wanting to make their way into the world. It's amazing. It's unbelievable.
And my dad said, he never had anyone looking out for him, ever. Zero. My dad has zero friends. Zero. Doesn't trust anybody. Because his whole life, he was screwed by everybody. Zero friends. I'm his friend. I don't want them to do that. That's one thing my father and I speak about a lot, because they're in his position when he was young, and they have an opportunity for us to look out for them.
What does your father think of you today with everything that you've done?
You know, he's so proud, because we're doing it different. You know, we're doing something that it's never been done before. We've changed the martial art culture. You know, we've broken tradition. They said this was the way it has to be. You have to do this, and we said nope. Have fun with that. We're gonna do this, and everyone said we'd fail. Everyone. I remember a gym owner came up to me, and he said to me, "Hey, you know, it's sad that you're gonna open up this gym, because a year from now you're gonna be back at my gym training in the corner with you guys for free again." He says, "It's sad, you know, you're gonna go out of business." He said, your idea is too crazy, no one's gonna like it. And I can't believe, when he said that to me, I went home and I cried a lot, because I was scared. I believed him. I never did this before. Now that it's becoming a reality and this is working so well, look, the blessings are absurd. In 1 year, I have to be, I don't know what their numbers are. I have to be one of the most wealthy coaches in Florida, if not, I'm definitely one of the most wealthy MMA coaches in the country. And it was all based off of love. I didn't go screw anybody. I'm not this bitter guy, you know, that didn't pay attention to this amateur. It started from fight number 0, and it went up to this level. So it's so cool to see that all these people are blessed. I'm blessed. All of us together are rising up so quickly, and it's all based out of this love and family atmosphere.
And it's
You know what I mean?
passion. You're so passionate. That's what I love when I see you cage side. Every single fight, it's that passion that you have. I'm like, who the hell is this guy? What is he about? What is, I mean, the person. Let's talk about you for example.
Okay.
Accomplishments include, and please forgive me if I'm just gonna say your accomplishments, because I think it's pretty freaking cool.
Thank you.
Amateur kickboxing world champion, pro 155 Combat Quest MMA tournament winner, amateur kickboxing Sanda world champion, pro European kickboxing Sanda champion, 3-time USA kickboxing Sanda national champion, 155 and 170 amateur MMA champion. It goes on and on and on. So you were at the top of your game with what you were doing, and then you had like a revelation, and
Yeah.
it seems like it just brought you in this direction, the direction you're supposed to be in, the direction that the universe was supposed to bring you in, right?
That's what's crazy, because at the time, you know, I went through so many hardships as far as like, so I was this unbelievable character, right? Training with GSP and Faraz Zahabi. Like, you talk to Faraz will vouch for me, and he's the coach at TriStar. All these
Canada,
famous coaches.
yeah, I was gonna ask you about that.
All these famous coaches will vouch for me. And then I went from this peak, and then I just went through this rocky road, and with different managements and different fights falling out, and so many things happening to me. And at the time, I'm like, wow, what? I'm losing this fire. Like, am I the same person? What's happening? Looking back, all of that had to happen to lead to this moment. I would have never had this amazingness, you know, if it wasn't for all those things. And it's so cool, because I can look back and say, thank God all that. I went through all that. Because now I can make sure that where I fell short, they overachieve. And where I achieved, they go past that. These guys, they will not fail, because I went through it all. Highs and lows. I know what it's like, and I know how to prevent it in them.
Paved the way for them to not fail.
Exactly. I've seen it. I've seen what the history tells. I know what's going to happen, and I can predict it, and I can avoid those scenarios that happen to me.
With Faraz, I know that for people that don't know, Faraz Zahabi is one of the best coaches in the world in Canada at TriStar. You were in that gym for quite some time, correct?
Yeah.
What did you learn from that gym that carried you on into this gym?
So, one thing about Faraz's gym that I'll mention a lot, so much of the culture that's here was also taken from TriStar. So much. Not only the culture, the technique, the way of thinking, the mentality about training, how I program guys' training camps. A lot of it comes from a guy that has far more experience than me. It comes from Faraz, you know? So I learned from him. Obviously, I do my things my own way too, but Credit goes to Faraz. I learned so much about coaching from him. He's such an intelligent guy, a cerebral coach. I have to give credit to that guy, for sure.
This room, how many square feet is this, just out of curiosity?
3,400.
3,400 square feet. So in comparison to other gyms, this is small.
Yes. Yes.
This is small.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about your fighters. How many active fighters do you have training here, living here, in and out, transient, all that jazz?
So I'll tell you this. We got us, well, this location in Wynwood's very expensive. It's about almost $7,000 a month rent, you know, because we're in the heart of Wynwood.
Right.
So you could have a 20,000 square foot place in Doral, but our rent is probably the same or more. So we did take a risk by coming here. We wanted a small gym on purpose. We wanted that boutique MMA gym. I never want to become a factory. ATT is extremely successful. It's I'm complimenting them by calling them the McDonald's of MMA. It's a compliment. It's a great, unbelievable thing. I don't want to be that. I'd rather be much smaller, not make as much money, but have this like quality fighting group that's just like achieving something unbelievable. And maybe I don't make as much money from it, but I don't care. I just want something beautiful. I want a beautiful story. When I'm older, I want to look back and be like, wow, this life was unbelievable. That's what I want. So I don't ever want to be a factory. This is small on purpose. In fact, now that we're booking these big sponsors, things are going to change. We're moving the protein to the other side. This will be the academy if you would like to eventually graduate and join the fight team. We're going to choose a chosen 10 pros, 10 amateur max. I'm going to focus on getting them all wins, focusing on having the most perfect training camps, and focusing on making them celebrities. That's
So
it.
if someone wanted to join, amidst all this fame and everything and your success, if someone off the street right now wanted to come in and train with you, what would you tell them?
Are they planning to fight or not fight?
Fight.
They're planning to fight. So basically, when someone comes in, you know, saying that they want to fight, I let them try a class. I see the potential, and then I'm very real with them. You know, say, hey, look, you're a tough guy. You have a future in the sport. Okay, this is what we're gonna do. Let's train for a year, 6 months, a year. Do the classes, do the normal classes. After that, let's work our way to have some cage sparring where everyone's watching you in the gym. Everyone's watching, people are screaming, hitting the cage. Can you handle that pressure? Once you get numb to that pressure in the cage, now we're ready to have our first amateur fight. So it's a journey. It's a slow journey. And one thing about this gym is we do not want to recruit the guy that's top of the UFC. If it happens, great, it's a blessing. I'm sure we'd be happy doing it, but that's not the goal. I want guys from 0 fights to UFC world champion. I want to know that we're the homegrown gym. They started here. We didn't recruit anybody. And so far, that's what we're doing.
So what would you say to your haters out there, different gyms? I know there's been some beef in the past. With
Yeah.
what you're doing. Like, how do you deal with that pressure of those haters and that
The
just
thing is-
constant? The MMA world is brutal. I've made some comments in some UFC chats, and I was like harassed by men, and I thought to myself, here I am, a woman, saying who my favorite fighter is in UFC, and I was
No
in
mercy.
tears. I'm
Yes.
like, I can't believe they would talk to a woman like that. I can't imagine owning an MMA gym and having those haters constantly. Bam, bam, bam. They're no good. They suck. They're this, they're that. Like, what do you say to those people?
A lot of things. So let's start with the most fun one, right?
Okay.
The couple coaches, they called me a clown. Oh, those guys are clowns. The goats are clowns. The coach is a clown. All that stuff. And what's cool about it is I won't argue. Here's the argument. Here's the only difference. Yes, we're clowns, but you are too. We're both performers. The only difference is I recognized it, so I'm making money from it. So you are an unsuccessful clown, and I am a successful clown. That's the only difference. We're performers. If we're not creating a show, you're not doing your job. You're a bad employee. Why is it that 1 year from opening up, I have 5 fights headlining Titan's main card, and you guys have 1? That's the question. The show is us. You're right. We're a clown. Accept it, and maybe you will get more job offers. That's it. It's that simple.
I love you.
That's the truth.
It's
you
so
know?
true.
We're performers. That's our job.
And and you're authentic. And
Oh.
who gives a shit at the end of the day? You're being you, and
Exactly.
you're doing what's in. Everyone's truth is different. The way I am in my life, the way you are in your life, we're so different, but we're so similar in the way that we want to do it differently, right?
Yes,
We want to
yes,
change the
yes.
script, flip the script, do it differently. When you're not here, and you're not with these guys in the trenches, and you're not at fights, and you're not running all over the place, what do you do for you?
Okay. What's awesome is like, so, my girlfriend just graduated law school.
That's
And
amazing.
she took the bar and everything, which is great because the way I speak, I'm gonna need a lawyer one day. So perfect. Got it in the family, no problem. And what's awesome is, she just quit her job and she's working with me full time. So what's very interesting is we've learned to find enjoyment on working on this project, which I love because we're always being productive. So for example, what do we love? We love eating great food. That's one thing. If you watch my stories, it's kind of ridiculous. We're having the highest end sushi foods, restaurants, and the Wagyu meats. Like, we're going insane. That's
You're
our
a foodie like me. I
foodie.
love it. I
So
love
like,
it.
for example, I've never tasted alcohol in my life. Not a drop. So I don't party. I've never tried a drug in my life. Nothing. Not weed, nothing. Never tried. Not a hint. So I don't party at all. My go-to is food. We love food, And what I love about it is we go out to eat at these beautiful restaurants and we get to sit together and we get to say, what are we trying to do? What's the next step? We got to do this. We got to do that. And I love it because it's increasing our quality of life. We're enjoying it. We're working together now because before it was rough. She was working, she was working and in law school. We were doing two separate things. So it was like we could never join together and have our time. Now it's like, this is our time. And it's so cool because now we're progressing even faster than ever. So that's our time. We love to eat at good restaurants and talk business. That's what my girlfriend and I do.
I love that. And tell me about the cars. Tell me a little bit about the cars because I keep seeing all
Yes,
these
yes,
high-end
yes.
cars. I'm like, he's got money, man. I want what they've got. Like, I want
So-
a Lambo. I want to look good.
I'll tell you this. My family they're stupid successful. And they worked their asses off for it from nothing. They're unbelievable people. They gave me the mindset. There was a time where I didn't have that. There's a time where my income was very, very little, I'm talking about like, I was struggling with $1,500 a month, $2,000. This was my income, And there's a time where I invested in a business when I was very young. I lost everything. So I had zero, went from zero, I eventually got to 3,000, got to zero income. And I'm like, shit, what am I gonna do? So I cried to my dad, and I'm hoping just like a privileged kid, right? Dad's gonna save me. Hey, Daddy, please help me out. I got nothing. He's like, no problem. You coach your guys in the gym for free. Clean the mats. I'm sure they'll give you a job. And I looked at him, and I thought he was gonna bail me out. I really thought, and if I pushed him, maybe he would have. I pushed him as much as I could, though, without asking. I was hinting. He's a smart man. I said, go. So within that week, I put up on Instagram, hey guys, I'm finally teaching open classes. Who would come? The demand was insane because I never did that. Just people wanted that already. So now they're jumping. I'll tell you this, within 10 months oh, by the way, once I lost all my income, I opened up 2 weeks after that, my gym. I made moves right away. Got the bank loan, whatever, opened up within 2 weeks. Now, in 10 months of opening, I had 10 times my income. I was making $30,000 a month. So I went from 3 to 0 to 30, 10 times. Now, obviously it's going even further than that, and we're all blessed here. Everyone is financially, doing well here. I pay my coaches $100 an hour. There's no gym around that's willing to do that. You know what's funny, by the way? A different mentality. Often, a head coach, their favorite student that they love so much, they'll say, hey, can you teach this class for me for free? Can you do this? Can you clean my mats? They'll abuse their power. I was that kid that I got abused. Clean my mats all day, teach all day, do the privates all day. I don't do that for a second. My students offer that. I pay them every time. $100 an hour, everybody. Everybody. It'll never happen. Nobody can ever say that about me because I love them. It's there, so why don't I do it? And it breaks my heart because that was never done for me. You know what I mean? So anyways, things have been great. Where the cars come in, when we decided to be the Miami gym, the first MMA gym in Miami, we needed the right branding. We said, hey, we gotta look bigger than we are. Because at that time I had zero income, right? I was just opening the business, I got the loan. I didn't have money for a Lambo. I hit up all the luxury car rental companies. All of them said no to sponsor us. They all said no. Then there's one guy said, hey, I don't have time for this. I said, you don't have time for this? I said, listen to me right now. I messaged him. I said, listen to me right now. One day, I'm going to take over the world. I'm going to own the MMA world, and you're going to want to work with me. He said, I'll meet you on Monday to watch your class. So that Monday, you're going to laugh your ass off. I scheduled sponsors to come have booths. I called all my fighters, friends that are in the UFC. Hey guys, help me out, come here. I packed this place, made it look larger than life. And when he walked in, he looked, he's like, and the sponsorship came through. We made a deal, we're gonna market his business, we're gonna try to push it, although he doesn't need any of that. And he decided to help us out. Whenever we want, whatever car we want, as many cars as we want, we can get it. No, and he doesn't work with any other MMA team. It has to be approved by us, exclusively with us. And now it's gotten to a point where my girlfriend and I are trying to become a partner. We're purchasing vehicles, and we're going to be renting them out as well. So now he made me into a business partner.
Well, if you have any Lambos left over that you want to rent out, I live just up the road.
You're right here?
No, I'm in Delray.
Okay,
just up
okay,
the road
okay,
with
okay.
the Lambo,
Got
you
it,
know,
yes.
0 to 60 and like nothing.
Exactly.
So I'm just saying, just think of me.
Got you.
Love Lamborghinis. Being Italian, how can you not? I'm sweating.
Right.
I love Lamborghinis. So you've got your beautiful girlfriend. You are. What's next for you and your family life? Kids in the future? Do you have what's going on there?
So we kind of spoke about that, but it's going to take a lot of time because we have very, very large plans, and they're very risky plans, and they require a lot of work. Because again, like you're doing things different, right? That's a huge risk if you're going to do things different, because there's a set way to do things, and that way is sold. That works to a certain degree. You're just like, no. I want to go above that. We're the same way. So that being said, it's maybe not be the right time to do certain things. So honestly, we're working on the business. This is our baby, and we're feeding it every day until it grows up big enough, and then we'll move on to other things.
Yeah.
But for now, she's the mastermind with me, and we're putting things together. And I think all the fighters are excited about that. Now that she's here, we're trying to kill it together, you know?
So, she's so pretty. So pretty. So, with the amount of success that both of you have had thus far, what does success look like next? I mean, you've made it.
I'll tell you
You've
this.
made it. So now what?
In 1 year of opening, we've been featured many times on SportsCenter, ESPN, House of Highlights. We're in a video with the largest artist in the world, a music video. All my fighters are there, with projected to be 1.5 billion views. 1.5 billion. Show me a UFC champion that gets 1.5 billion views on their video. We won't find it. We just started. So what's going to happen in 3, 5 years? You know what I mean? The next step, honestly, I don't know if I should, I'll give a brief idea of it because I don't know if I should release that information yet, but we have our major sponsors. We're opening up other ventures that are gonna facilitate this to grow. And it all comes from a mindset of, we're trying to put every single dollar that we make back in this. Because we realize the faster this goes, the faster everything goes. So we're not trying to cash out. I think a lot of gym owners are short-sighted. They want to make the money now, right? So they nickel and dime. We're literally putting everything into this and Wagyu dinners. You know, that's about it, right?
And Wagyu.
But we're putting everything into this, and that's why it's running so quickly. So we have other ventures that are going to assist in this that I feel like will blow it up. You know, if we invest in this car business, there's a reason. It's because it's going to help with this business. We have ideas. We know what to do. I'll tell you this, fun fact.
Tell me.
This block across the street, the whole block, my uncle owned. He sold it for back in the day, like 23 million. Owned the whole block. I will own this complete block one day. And there'll be businesses here, there. I already know which businesses will be there. The only thing that might change that is if we buy a giant standalone building. But in reality, that's the idea. We have so many business ideas that all trickle back to this and to my guys. That's why I know they'll be successful. You know? And it all starts here. There's no greed involved in this. This is all love. You know, nobody can argue that. 4 years, 5 years for free. Come on. I love these guys. This is my life. This is my family. So we're here sacrificing for each other. Most importantly, they believe in the vision. Because sometimes I'm a little crazy with what my vision is. So they have to trust in me that I say, hey, these are the moves to make, and they do. And thank God they do, because that's why we are here where we are. You know?
3,500 square feet of pure integrity, passion, blood, sweat, tears.
Definitely.
If these walls could talk, right? This
For real.
is where it's
And
at.
that's what the Law of
Yeah.
the Goat's about. That's what the docuseries is about. Because each of these guys have such a unique story. And it's not the same story. Everyone has a different, unique story. Like I'll tell you quickly, I got my Cubans that escaped communism, came here and looking for freedom, right? My Venezuelans and Cubans. And now they're blowing up. They have a future here. Their story is beautiful. I have stories where Ryan Coos, for example, he had a very different path in life. You know, you can look at the audience with the ski mask. Very different path in life, right? Wild man. Found this team, focused, becoming something special. He's an entrepreneur. He has his own juice company. He has his own warehouse that he pays rent to with giant industrial juicers. Imagine a 25-year-old kid with his own business. This is very rare. This is very rare. And he doesn't understand that because he's working very hard and fighting and in his business. And he's like, man, this is rough. He said, look, you've already accomplished something great. For you to have saved up so much money to invest in your own business and become an entrepreneur, that's success in itself. I'm proud of you. Whether this fails or succeeds, it doesn't matter. You did something that no one would do, which is take that risk and invest. So all these guys have their freaking beautiful stories. It's amazing.
You sound to me like you're a parent already. you know what I mean though?
Yeah.
You're a parent to so many people because you want to give them, you want to encourage them and be that voice for them. It sounds like you want to be that person, their person.
Their stories are my family stories. You know, I see my mother, my father, my uncles in them. And they had nobody, and I'm not going to allow that to happen to these guys. I'm going to be there. You know, we're going to be there. So that's my eyes. They are my family. This is the same story.
I love the smell of this gym. There's nothing like the smell of an MMA gym, especially after like 30 people were in here. It's so hot.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
My job does not suck. I'm just saying. Well, I will say this. You know, success is definitely upon you. Is there anything that you fear? Is there anything that, at the end of the day, you're afraid of?
Wow, I never thought of, I guess there's one thing, but I wouldn't say it's a fear, it's more of a motivation, because I won't allow it to happen. Wow, thank you for that, because I didn't realize I don't have fear in life, you know? Because I'll always be good. I have too many amazing people around me. All these people, they love me too much for anything bad to happen to me, for me to fail, you know? And then I also have my blood relatives, you know, so I have no fear, you just made me realize. But I guess one thing that keeps me motivated, I have one fighter in particular, he's pound for pound my best student in the gym, Roy. He's not here. Roy Echeverria. Mm-hmm. It's gotten to a point where he's better than I could have ever been. And I cry after his fights because how can I be qualified to tell him anything? He's better than I could have ever been. I could never do the things he does. And I want to always be his coach, but if he ever passes me, I'm gonna have to hand him off to someone I feel is more credible. I'll always be true to my fighters. If I feel like they've surpassed me in knowledge, I'll hand them to where they need to go, even though they may not want it, you know? But why is that not a fear? Because it's the motivation that makes me study fights all day. Makes me study fights, watch instructional DVDs. I'm a student of the game to make sure that these guys never catch up to me. See, most coaches are satisfied with what they know, and they teach what they know. They're not humble enough to say, hey, that guy knows more than me. I'm willing to say that. I'm only 30 years old. I'm willing to say, hey, that guy knows more than me. Let me watch. Okay, I learned it. Now I can teach it. And I can deliver it better with more passion, so I know I upped it. And then I can go catch. So I have to constantly increase my level so these guys don't pass me. But Roy's the scary one. Roy's right there. So I'm studying my ass off to make sure I never have to say, hey, Roy, I need to send you somewhere else. You know? So that's the big motivation.
So, and when you're not here and you're driving around and do you go to the beach? Like, what do you do? What is your playtime? Everyone plays, you know? I like the Housewives of Beverly Hills. I don't know. I watch Bravo all day sometimes.
I got you. You know
What do you do all day?
I'll
when
tell
you're
you
not here?
this. I'll tell you this. This is a real schedule. This is not a lie, and this is every day with no exceptions. Because we haven't had a vacation. We've been together almost 3 years. This is every day. 6 a.m. Wake up. I'm here till 9:30 p.m. Sometimes I don't leave the door. Today I left the door for a meeting about the gym. We'll be here, and Gloria knows too, right? A lot of us are here from 6 a.m. till 9:30 p.m. all day. That's why there's a fridge, laundry, everything. After 9:30 p.m., we leave and we have a beautiful dinner together discussing business. When we get home, it's maybe 11 o'clock at night. If possible, we'll go ahead and watch one murder mystery episode. I love solving murders, and she's crazy.
You like Dateline?
Dude, all that stuff.
Obsessed.
And she's on the Facebook group solving murders at night.
Yes.
She's crazy. She's looking into the Instagram, stalking them, DMing. I know you did it. She doesn't do it. That's our pastime for maybe 1 hour.
Too. Dateline. Friday night.
Oh my God.
We've got
Ryan
Mr.
Coos.
Ryan Coos in the house.
He just walked in, and that's the guy that made me a coach today. One of the big reasons why I'm a coach today. He knows the story.
Yep.
He's the reason why I'm the fighter I am today.
Aww. I love that.
That's my man.
Brian's in beast mode all the time. I love
That's
it.
my man forever.
He's awesome. You're an intense, passionate person. Does that come from your upbringing here? Does that come from your culture? Like you said, your family's originally from Pakistan.
You know what's crazy? My God, I'm very passionate about my dad because when I was a kid, I thought he didn't know anything. I knew everything. He's wrong about it. As I get older, I realize father knows everything. We always joke around. We always say, because Kareem says, I always say, father knows everything. Everything's from father, right? It's so true. He taught me everything. You know, he put that mentality in my head that no one can do anything better than us. You know, nobody. We don't need help from it. He grew up like that. We don't need help from anyone. We're gonna do it better than anyone. And him giving me that passion, that drive, and my mother. You know, when my father and mother divorced, my mother had nothing, and herself, she's the first person in my family that bought a mansion. She has a real, legit, unbelievable fortress, and she did that by herself. You know, so my father and mother did it, and it was so cool, her being a single mother and doing that. And it's just that growing up with that mentality, you're gonna have passion, you're gonna believe in yourself. You saw it, you grew up with it. You know what I mean? So I saw what it took, and I believe no one can do it at my level. That's where it comes from. You know?
I love that. This has been amazing, and I have to thank you because I could just talk to you all day. Like I just want to I want to be like one of your cameramen. I just want to follow you all day.
Thank you.
And kind of like figure out, I want to watch, do they watch, when you're watching Dateline or when you're watching True Crime, but do you have the cameras in your house at night? Are they going, hey, they're eating and they're watching, I don't know.
In the documentary, you're actually going to see the personal life of everyone. You're going to learn
Okay.
about everybody.
Okay.
It's going to be deeper because right now people are seeing the surface. They see the Lambos and the jewelry, and they're like, oh, they're flashy, and they don't understand. Honestly, we're the Miami Gym. That's our branding. That's what we have to look like to cater to Miami. You know, you're talking about those are 50-year-old coaches that are catering, that are trying to market to a demographic half their age. It's not going to work. I'm 30. I know that our demographic in MMA is between 20 to 34, right? I know exactly what they want to see. We're in Miami. I did it, but this is not who we are. This is brand. This is a joke. This is nothing. What we are is love. Swear to God. And when this documentary comes out, everyone will know it. Even the people that were upset, and they already DM me, some of the haters, congratulating. And they're like, I didn't know it was like this. And I'm like, it's okay. I know you've never been here. You're never going to understand it until you come and see it. When this documentary releases, you will fall in love with you will know why I love these people so much. They're unbelievable people, and they all came to one location. I don't know how. I don't know how all these unbelievable personalities came here.
Well,
one
you
place.
said, if you build it, they will come, right?
Right?
In the universe, things happen for a reason. I believe that. And I believe in humble beginnings. My grandfather was a custodian at a church. And I always grew up watching my grandfather, and he was, that's what he did. And I didn't know what that entailed. I just remember him my family came from nothing. My grandmother came here on a boat, Ellis Island, to New Jersey, Italian immigrants, and then lo and behold, you know, they still didn't have much. But that makes you so strong, right?
It does.
Makes you,
So
makes
you have that same,
yeah,
same
100%.
story. That story is unbelievable. It gave us something so special.
And my grandfather, God rest his soul, was a Golden Glove champion of New Jersey before they moved down here in 1953, and they settled in Lake Worth. So fighting was in my blood. Just I never did it.
Yeah.
Maybe I can have some classes. Anyone know where I can get a class? Jiu-jitsu,
You
like
got a
master
academy
class.
right here.
So yeah, it's interesting how when you have that passion in you
For sure.
from family ties, it really brings it in. Well, I'm so excited that we had this time,
Yes.
and I'm gonna follow you guys around all the time. No, I'm just kidding. And I can't wait to see what you're gonna do next. I want to say thank you to my sponsors who I love, which we've got a few of them actually. We've got Titan, we've got Amethyst Skincare, we have Native Boys, we've got Studio B Squared, we've got Love. We've got Love. So I really thank you guys for listening into Skulls and Stilettos. Stellified from head to toe. That's what he is. I just stellified him.
Finally.
That's what finally.
I'm ready to go.
I've been waiting to stellify you.
Love
It
it.
happened.
Love it. Love it.
All right, guys. We'll see you next time.